Greetings. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. Thank you so much for joining me today. Um, I just been entertained, I guess the word I want to use, by the most beautiful birds, that is dancing before me. And I'm like, oh, thank you. It's like, go ahead, you can go now. They're like, okay, you're ready. But anyway, I want to share with you something that I was sharing and listening to. Because many times in our life, we may have information, but our information sometimes come from those who have given us information too. And I'm asked questions probably on a daily basis about one thing or another. And when I'm asked these questions, I need to either have an answer or go looking for the answer that someone has asked me what they need. And so the other day, someone was sharing with me about the frustrations and dating and finding the right person or the right person finding you. You ever have somebody finally say the person that you wanted is finally saying something to you? You're excited because it's at last. I've been waiting 2 years. I've been waiting however long because that's the person I want. I like how the person, does whatever it is that attracts you to this person that made you feel like this is the one. They finally said hi, and you feel like at last. Okay, so you think you're almost in. Then after the hello, they're now in a frozen state because they don't know what to do now. They spoke to me. I think they might like me, but I don't know what to do. It's like fishing, right? And I'm not a fisherman or fisherwoman. I don't fish, but I'll just use an example. Like fishing, you finally got the fish that so you got a bite, and now you got a nice one too, right? So now you got it on your line. Now the key is to reel it in, you know, especially if it's a nice size one. You got to be particular how you reel it in, because you could lose it in the fight. Because the fish sometimes not going willing. Well, not sometimes. The fish ain't going willing. It has no desire to be caught. And now, so it's fighting. It's putting up a fight. And the bigger the fish, the bigger the fight. Lock that one in. The bigger the fish, the bigger the fight. Now you got to understand, if that's what you want, you got to be willing to get into the fight. Because if it's what you want, and it has been what you've been seeking and desiring for a long time, then you must understand, once you get it, on the line, you finally got a chance to get the phone number. Or as the young people do, you got their IG. But you finally got a contact in which you can be able to now talk to the person that you have had this desire for. Now, what do you do next? What's next? How are you going to move forward? Because you finally got them on the line. And now they want to know, can you keep me on the line? Okay? You got my number? Let's see how you make that first call. Let's see if the call is a breaker or, or not. We were sharing yesterday about deal breakers. Said everybody has a deal breaker. And truly, I believe that. Everybody has a deal breaker. There is something or some things that you just ain't going to put up with. It's something or some things that you said that if the relationship or whatever it is gets to this point, I'm out of here. I'm done. That's a deal breaker, right? So now, once you got who you want, interested now in you, what are you going to do to keep that interest going, right? I remember going to a class, oh gosh gracious, a long time ago, and one of the things they talked about the honeymoon. They said, once you get a person, the honeymoon never ends. You never stop the honeymoon, and the honeymoon is the thrill of it, the excitement, the joy, the bliss. You in the honeymoon stage. That should always be that. right? You're not supposed to get to the place where you say, well, I finally got him or her, and now I can kind of relax, sit back a little bit. No, you don't need to be relaxing, sitting back. Look, I totally advise you not to do that. I'm totally against it. But again, this is just me giving you what I believe. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work differently for everybody. Good gracious. It works different for any and everybody. But for me, I would say, what's the saying that said, whatever it took for you to get them, you need to do that to keep them, right? Start out like you can hold out. Start out like you can hold out. If that's how you started out, don't shortchange me now, because you got me in here. Yeah, don't. This lady said, don't start bringing him a glass of tea if you're not planning on doing the rest of the relationship. Don't do nothing that you know is not really in you to do. Y'all heard me say that before. So the same thing. Now you're looking for this person. You finally got the person on the line. Now you need to figure out, if that's who I really want. What am I willing to do, and how long must I do this to keep them there? Because the frustration comes many times. What I've heard, the frustration comes. You finally got me, but now you don't know how to keep me. Right? You got me, and then you freeze. You're at a standstill. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do. And so a lot of times fear creeps in. I wonder where that animal came from. Fear. It's like a vicious animal. Fear. Fear. I'm afraid if I do this, it could cause that. I'm afraid. That word has so much power. It is a vicious animal that has too much power in our lives. Really, fear. You're afraid of so many things. We have phobias. Somewhere in this book, it says, you have not been given the spirit of fear, but you have power. Power, it gets rid of fear when you realize that you can beat this. You can you can conquer this. You can take this down. That rids you of the fear. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. And I'm not saying to you that your phobias and your fears are not legit. Something happened to traumatize you, that caused that fear to come, or something happened down your lineage to cause that fear to be there. People who fear water, right? They don't want to be in a lot of body of water. And maybe it did not happen to you, but maybe something happened to your lineage down the line, to an ancestor, right? DNA is powerful. It travels, right? DNA, good gracious, honey, the power of DNA. It's more than trying to identify who you are, but sometimes you can pick up people's stuff you never met, but you're just like them. Isn't it amazing? Children who never been around their natural parents and was raised from an infant, but when they get grown, they begin to act just like their natural biological parents. Isn't it amazing? DNA, powerful, honey, right? It goes. So a whole lot of things you can pick up through DNA. Sometimes you be wondering why you have a fear of this, and this bothers you, and how can you experience this and you never had an experience before? It wasn't you, but it was someone who you was connected to down your lineage, right? Go back a couple 20, 40, 100 years, you'll find out there was somebody there who had an experience with that, and that's why they don't do them, and you are part of that DNA, and that's why you don't do it. Crossing a bridge. Why you got a fear of crossing a bridge? A lot of times it don't start with you. It goes back. You want to do an ancestry? Do it on your fears. Because I'm telling you, they are spiritually connected to someone that you may have never been introduced to formally, but they are telling you there's history here. There's history here. I can ride down a road that I've never been down before. I'm on a road that is not familiar to me. And I can tell you stories of what happened on this particular road, in that particular forest, at that particular river. And I've never been there before. I haven't. You know, and again, this comes when you begin to tap into who you are. You know, sometimes we just get comfortable with the surface of who we are, the surface, and not the depths of who we are. You know, you can sit back and look at a person and begin to tell things about a person who you never met, and you almost know them. Not so much you know them, you know their spirit. How you get that kind of power? Where'd that come from? I got a goddess, right? That is, she works a lot with her herbals, right? And she makes all kinds of herbal, portions, for healing and so forth. And sometimes I go, we compare jars, right? And I love it because, she uses what she's got, and she didn't know how to do it, but she tapped into herself. And when she tapped into herself, she found out that her great grandmother was an herbalist, and she was a healer in her village, right? So people came to her, for healing. The dandelion, the power of the dandelions that we cut. We can't stand dandelions in our front yard, but the power of the dandelion, right? Dandelion tea, right? The salve, so many things that we don't see as healing or healers that are, right? So when I talk to her, she learned so much, and she had it in her from birth, but she tapped into it at a later age, and and she was afraid at one time for tapping into it because what she was brought up to do and to believe really taught against that. And we know about those experiences. Good gracious. I've been brought up to think, and a lot of times to fear things that I should be embracing. I should be embracing this part of my life, but instead I fear it because I was told the stories that made me fear stepping into a place that's not familiar to me, but it's definitely me. I know you said I done moved that whole topic, right, from the relationship, but that's part of it for me. When you meet somebody that you say that you're interested in, you need to know the depths of who you're trying to get in contact with. And that's why when we were coming up, our parents always asked the question, when you was interested in dating somebody, the question they always asked you was, who is their family? Who's the family? Because they didn't connect the dots based on your family. Who are they related to? Who's their mama? Who's their uncle? They ask all those questions. And sometimes it makes the person feel uncomfortable to answer those questions. And your parents didn't care about them being uncomfortable. They wanted to make sure that their child was safe, because they know when I can find out who you're related to, I can about tell you who you are. Ain't that something? But it's true. What it say? The tree is known by the fruit it bears. What that mean? Who you connected to. Sometimes just your name or your last name, the generation of your last name, ain't nothing good come from it. Just bad blood, bad things, just a person's last name carries so much weight, that DNA. And you look at that DNA, you say, all of them women was this, all of those men was like this, right? And then you look, and then you say, now you trying to connect with me, knowing your lineage. Am I ready for that type, of relationship? Because DNA won't lie. That's why they do DNAs. Because they said, now, mama might lie about who the daddy is. Daddy might lie, say he ain't. But we're going to do a DNA. And when this DNA is done, we're going to tell you who's who. What's that, paternity court? They sit back for a long time and they find, my wife, right? But here it is. If you're talking about going into a relationship and you want to settle in with this person, know who you get ready to settle in with. You know a little bit more about them than what you see. Know something about them that's going to either keep you or send you away. Because again, you might have a deal breaker. Ladies used to say, I don't want a man who got children. Okay. Well, what about the fact you got some? So he need to want you, and you don't want him because he got children? So he needs to not have responsibility, but you got it. And then your children will be his responsibility, but that's okay. Kind of like a double standard, right? When you step into relationships, there's many things. It could be obstacles. It could be, highlights in that relationship you want to learn. Someone said, about a man with children, right? Or a woman who has too many children, by several different fathers or whatever. People have hang-ups or deal breakers. But if that's how you feel, you stick to that. Because the reason why you feel that way, stick to it. It doesn't make that person bad. It doesn't make that person the worst. It doesn't make a person a highlight or prize. It just says that's where you are. And for whatever reason, that's why you feel that way. Stick to that if that's what you need to do. But now, don't tell somebody else now they can't do because you can't do, because that's just something that you're dealing with or you have dealt with and you've had a bad experience with, right? She was telling me about how a man pursued her, but then once he got her, he didn't know what to do, because he was like in awe that he finally got her and didn't know how to pursue keeping her. Isn't it amazing? Is it? Or is this facts? So, long story short, before you decide this is what you want, make sure this is what you want. Make sure you're willing to go, the miles, the time, and deal with whatever comes with that. Because there is no one who is perfect, even though they can be perfect for you. They're not perfect though, right? Because before meeting you, they have met other obstacles in life, other tests, other trials, other headaches, traumas, right? They've been on different roads than you have. And sometimes we think that everybody was raised the same way, and it's not true. As I was raising my children, my first set of children, I was never the mother who was going to all the games. I wasn't a soccer mom. I felt like when I worked all day and I came home and kept the house and did the cooking, I didn't want to go out and do the other stuff. Now, it didn't make me a bad mother. It just made me the mother who didn't do the soccer mom thing. And I didn't fault the soccer mom who went to all her children's games, because that's what she felt like she needed to do, or something that she had experienced in her life. And what I experienced in mine was mama stays home and keeps the house and does the cooking, right? So when I got done working, I was home. And I didn't feel bad, and you couldn't make me feel bad or felt like I missed something because I wasn't doing what someone else done. See, everybody has their own thing. There's a father who goes to all the games. He trains his sons to do all this stuff. There's a father who's out there working, and sometimes he's long distance driving a truck. He's doing all of this. He's across seas, wherever it may be, but that's what he does. But he's still a good father. He's still supporting. He's still providing. But you cannot compare the two and say one is better than the other because one can do and the other one can't. It's what you chose. And you have to realize with the choice that you made, you have to accept that choice. Right? So when you go in knowing this is what you want. You know, this is what you want? Yeah, this is what I want. And I know there's going to be some ups and some downs. I shared with somebody a while back, you have a disagreement. I don't like me fussing. I said it's not the matter of fussing. It's a disagreement. This is different. A disagreement is I don't agree with what you said, and you don't agree with what I did. It's a disagreement. Everybody's going to have them. You're not exempt. And when you have them, you learn through that disagreement how to fix that, how to change that, how to adapt to that, or how to accept that. Because it is a disagreement. You don't overlook it because it's not going to go anywhere being overlooked. You have to deal with that disagreement, right? You went off and you said, honey, I'll be home straight after work. And then when you got off from work, going to the parking lot, you ran into your friend. And you out there talking, time has moved, and then you say, hey, look, we get ready to go over here and shoot some pool, whatever. And you go and you do it. Absent-mindedly. Just have, but now you had said you're going to come home straight from work. But something happened. And then you text and say, hey, babe, I'm hanging out with so-and-so. I just ran to so-and-so. Guess who I saw today? Blasey, blasey. Whatever you might call, however you decide to do it. Right? But now what you said you was going to do, you got, something happened, came up, and now you got on another train. It's understandable. But now, that other person could have had plans. The other person may have had a surprise. Something else might have been brewing in the other person's mind. And now you change that because you changed the plans. There's nothing wrong with the plans being changed because it happens. But now when you get home and the other person is upset because it happened, you can't, go amp. Well, I told you. I'm like, no. Ho. First of all, you changed the plans. Now I'm voicing my being upset because you changed the plans. Now this is not where you need to get haughty, because you changed the plans. And let me tell you, when you changed the plans, you also changed the plans that I had for us, unbeknownst to you, of course, because it was a surprise. But now I'm trying to explain to you my frustration of you changing the plan. And now you're trying to get on a high horse because you feel like I'm trying to mess with your masculinity, or, I'm trying to check you, whatever the words you might want to use. Now, boo, I'm trying to tell you I'm upset. And now you're trying to tell me I shouldn't be upset. Now we getting ready to go to a different height. Because now you're trying to tell me my emotions or my feelings are not valid. And that's a no-go. Right? You messed up, and you're going to try to use a semi-reverse psychology on a person who owns a chessboard. Right? What we need to do is realize, dang, I suppose I came straight home. I don't mess around and got caught up here with my buddy. Blasey. Right? I know Queen gonna be upset because I told her I was gonna come home. I ain't no telling what she got going on today, because you know how she is. She always trying to plan something. Now, I need to come in here like I got some sense and listen to my queen because I know she upset when I get in. Because you know how I know she upset? Because when I told her what I was doing, and she didn't say a whole lot. And her silence speaks a whole lot more than her doing a whole lot of fussing. See, ain't need fussing on the phone because I can't see you. So, okay. Now that phrase there. Now most people know by now when we say okay, it don't mean it's okay. It means all right. That's what you're gonna do. Okay. But now there's consequences to what you just did. That's what the okay means. So, future reference. Future reference, right? So anyway, you get home, you know, timing is off. This ain't no disagreement. This is something we need to talk about. I ain't even fussing. It's something we need to talk about though. Because this don't need to be happening, again. This don't need to be no regular. Because this is not a good thing. Because if it was the other way around and you had plans and you want to surprise me with something really nice and you want to do something really great with me and you had your mind set to do this, you had dinner set to do this, you had things laid out for us to do this, and then I decide, not we, I decide that I'm getting ready to do thus and thus. And then I'm going to come in at a time frame that's totally different than what we had arranged. You ain't going to be happy neither. And when I come in that house, all happy with my little shopping bags, you looking at me, what's wrong with you? I ain't coming in like that. I'm coming in there. I got a little humility going on, first of all, because I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. I know I should have been home, right? Ain't no need in me coming in there acting like what I did was cool, because it wasn't. So now, talking to my king, hey, and he looking at me, and I can tell by the look on his face he ain't happy. So now my job is to find out how to get my king back happy, because I done messed up with my silly self, right? That's how you got to work things out, honey. Now you work things out like that. You don't, if you know you messed up, you know you missed a beat, you know you have frustrated your king, queen, princess, goddess, whatever names you want to call your boo, honey cakes, all whatever name you want to call your significant other, your partner, your love of your life. When you know you messed up, some of the things that you need to practice on if you ain't got down packed yet, that humility, honey, and an apology. Apology will go a long ways. Oh gosh, when you start off with "I'm sorry," oh, I apologize. Some people say, "Don't say I'm sorry," because it means you're sorry. You're saying the word. Words mean everything. Okay, so let's start. I ain't saying I'm sorry. I apologize, babe. I know you had plans, and I do apologize. I got caught up, and I apologize. Now, what can I do to make this up to you? I can't change time, baby. I can't change time. I can't go back. If I could, I would have done it differently. I wasn't thinking, and I definitely wasn't thinking of you first. For that, I apologize, because I was trying to do, hear that single person? Not we. I was trying to do this. And I should have thought of you and made sure it was okay with you before I done that, because I did not know if you had plans. And I know I'd already told you I was going to be home at this time. Now, I messed that up. And I apologize. And moving forward, babe, I'm going to take whatever licking comes on this one now. And licking, I ain't talking about them physical now. But I'm going to take the hit. And I'm going to take the L. Because I knew I messed up. Right? So if you upset for, the next couple hours, I have to accept that. Right? I have to, and I can't get mad with you because you upset. Because I'm the one who injured you. Right? So I can't get on my little high horse now and talk like, you need to get over it. No. That's a no-go. You don't tell somebody to get over something. Because let me talk about this. You can't come in and pop somebody in the eye, do something horrendous, hurt them and injure them, really bad, and then tell them, get over it. Now you done missed every class that you should have been in. if that's what you say to a person to get over it. When you are the one who got them hurting the way they're hurting, no matter how big or how small, you did it. Don't tell them to get over it. You figure out how to help them heal, to get past it, to love you more. Because now, I'll say this. I'll say this. Now, when you injure somebody, they say forgive and forget, right? That's what they say. But now, most people may forgive you, but they don't never forget what you did. You know, I'm not gonna say never, but most times they don't forget what you did. And there are some people who will mark it. Some people, they're gonna mark what you just did because they're gonna remember that you did that, so that it's in their mind now. When something comes along the next time, let me see whether or not you're going to do the same thing. Because then I need to see if this is a pattern. Because if you got a pattern doing this, now we got an issue now. And we have an issue that we need to really discuss. Now, it's going to be not a disagreement now. We need to figure out how to get past this, because this is a pattern. You have a habit of doing this. After I told you clearly that I don't like it and it bothers me, and this right here affects me deeply, and you keep doing it, that's a pattern that you're not willing to change. So now we need to discuss this. You know, like adults. Let's discuss this. Because at some point, if it's bothering him that badly, and I'm still doing it, we need to discuss this. Because I'm not thinking enough of his feelings, or I don't think his feelings are valid enough for me to change what I'm doing, or at least curve it so I don't, cause him to feel the way I'm making him feel. If I told you, you're smoking, don't smoke around me, right? And this is an example, y'all. This is an example. You blowing smoke on me, I got to go to work smelling like smoke. That's a no. You can smoke, use a room, and a room that we're not using together, because secondhand smoking is an issue. My son have a problem with that. But these are examples, y'all, right? So what I'm saying to you, if there are things that you do that is a problem to the other person, first of all, if it's a problem to the other person and you've been doing it from the beginning, then the problem lies on the other person, because they knew coming in the door that you did this. Ain't no need now of coming into the door knowing you do it and then sit back later on and complain about something that you knew from the beginning, right? You knew I had 6 children when you met me. Then they don't start complaining about me and my 6 children. Well, hey, boo, you saw them kids get out of that station wagon. What, you talking about, hide them now because you in my life? No, whatever. Now, see, I made light of that, right? But you understand what I'm saying. When you come into a person's life and you see them for what they are and how they do things, that's a pattern that they have. That's a way they do things. That's a lifestyle for them, right? Now, you saw that from the gate, but you were still interested in them. What did you think? You thought because you came into their life, they was going to change that because of you, when they've been doing it all their life? Think, baby, think. So, if that's what you want, and you finally got a chance to get what you want, know how to keep them on the line, know how to bring them in, and then when you get them, know how to treat them right, so you can keep them. Just a little, one-on-one today. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for your time. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. You be blessed. Be powerful. Let your light forever shine because you're awesome. I love you. Have a fantastic day.